and thank you, Ranking Member, for holding this hearing on this critical issue. This committee has no higher responsibility than ensuring the safety of the flying public. The issue of 5G interference with aircraft radio altimeters is very serious. It is unfortunate that we are in this situation, and it was certainly preventable. We can and must act to address the immediate problem and to ensure that it never happens again. Administrator Dickson, you and the FAA are working diligently. You're working hard to move this issue forward. It is clearly the FAA's top priority right now to ensure that the 5G rollout occurs in the safest and least disruptive way possible. I commend your focus, and I know that you'll keep it up. I'm concerned that this will not be the last time that the FAA runs into spectrum management issues. Spectrum conflicts are only going to become more common as the airspace fills with new entrants. With the growth of the UAS industry, the United States airspace could have millions of drones flying around the country with hundreds of different operators. These companies will need spectrum to manage these drones without question. Much of the FAA's spectrum capability comes from the Spectrum Engineering Office. So, Mr. Administrator, I have several questions to ask. What role has the FAA's Spectrum Engineering Office played in the process of detecting and solving the 5G interference issue before us? And now and into the future, do we need more resources? These are changing times and changing technologies. We need the resources to deal with this. How will the expansion of the UAS industry complicate the spectrum environment? Thank you.
Thank you, Congressman Van Drew. And I know that you have particular focus on this. We've talked about the capabilities of the tech center and our very highly capable team there. As I said, this process did not serve anyone well, and we need to do better, and we will. In terms of resources, I think that if we can improve the process, we are well resourced for what we have in front of us. My spectrum engineers, the last 3 months, I've been talking to them on almost a daily basis. They're a very capable group, but this is not an issue that's going away. And as a matter of fact, in order to be able to continue to enable the kind of innovations that you're talking about, it is something that we're focused on in our workforce plan. We really need to make sure that we're bringing the kinds of 21st century expertise and experience into the agency that we'll need to move these forward. So look forward to continuing to work with you on those very important issues.
Good, I appreciate it. I look forward to it as well. Nothing could be more important right now, and I yield back, Chairman. I thank everybody for being here today and their wonderful testimony. This is important stuff. Your organizations actually represent essentially the entire aviation and telecommunications industries, and it is a massive part of the United States economy. Earlier today, I asked the FAA Administrator, Mr. Dickson, about how new entrants to the airspace, like drones, will complicate spectrum management into the future. I do not believe the FAA is currently equipped for the future of aviation spectrum management. The current 5G crisis was foreseeable. Individuals within the FAA Spectrum Engineering Office have been sounding the alarm for nearly a year. The Spectrum Office did not have the authority to make this issue a priority until it was too late. I believe that we must empower the Spectrum Engineering Office within the FAA. It must be provided greater procedural authority and voice so that our country is able to handle the spectrum challenges into the future. So I direct my question to Eric Fanning, President and CEO of Aerospace Industries Association, and Meredith Atwell Baker, President and CEO of Cellular Telecommunications Industry Association. Do you think the current situation shows us that the FAA is not properly equipped to meet the spectrum challenge of the future, such as drone integration? Further, do you believe that the FAA Spectrum Engineering Office must be empowered with authority to better manage spectrum resources, get spectrum to market faster, ensure capability and compatibility, and prevent conflicts like the ones we are experiencing right now? And if any other witnesses concur with this sentiment, feel free to make that known. Thank you. Wait for your answer.
Congressman, thank you. I'll start and say that I think it's an issue of empowering for the FAA, and what I was saying earlier, that all stakeholders, we need to think of this more broadly as we move forward, as we use spectrum, its limited bandwidth, as we use it for more complex technology.
This process in a
absolutely, I agree with you, and I think you hit it on the head. And we need the leadership. So, you know, as all those voices come together, you also need the leadership so we're on the same page and we have the regulation that we need. I think we would do so much better. You can't have people in different spots doing different things, not knowing, which is kind of what happened here, what the other fellow is doing. So I think you really made a good point, and I agree with you on that. And I yield back.